And welcome back to the Hot Lap as we celebrate a British 1, 2, 3 for the first time ever in Silverstone history for the British Grand Prix. I think also the first time we had a British 1, 2, 3 in qualifying since the late 1960s. Yeah, see you after this. And welcome back. I mean, Leclerc has said we are just really slow. It reflects on difficult time for the Ferrari. Not particularly good at all for Ferrari. Norris is essentially ruining his mistake at the end of Q3 as he vows to bring the fight home. And PlanetF1.com have... it's gone blank. Max Verstappen's British Grand Prix admission with floor damage cost revealed. But before we get into that, we're going to get into each driver. I mean, we've got Russell on pole, Hamilton second, Norris third, Verstappen fourth, Piastri fifth, Hülkenberg sixth, Sainz seventh, Stroll, not bad at all, well done, eighth. Still, I've got to say, if it wasn't for your dad, he wouldn't be here. Okay, moving on. Ninth is Albon, 10th is Alonso, 11th is Leclerc, really disappointing from Leclerc, 12th, Sargent, Tsunoda 13th, Zhou 14th, Ricciardo 15th, Bottas 16th, Magnussen 17th, Ocon 18th, 19th is Sergio Perez, and 20th is Gasly. So that is our top 20 for the British Grand Prix. But let's have a look at driver by driver, so we can really slag a few people off and be nice to some. So driver by driver, as you can see, the background behind me. Very excited about a British 1, 2, 3. There's George Russell's car right behind me as well. Hopefully he doesn't run me over. So let's talk about that British 1, 2, 3. But let's essentially do what the grid's going to be. And Gasly's essentially going to be at the back, isn't he? Because of the very, very lackluster Alpine engine. So Pierre Gasly, Pierre, wherefore thy Pierre, you are in 20th and last. I don't really think you can really expect much of him, really. Pierre, last, okay. Where else would he going to be? Signed for Alpine, as we know, for next year. So not bad. But the man that's starting alongside Pierre Gasly, oh, Sergio, hang your head in shame. I mean, I saw yellow flags, I think, sector 2, about halfway through the Q1. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I saw a red one, and I instantly assumed it was Perez. And it was. Goes off in cops, whoops a daisy. Now, to be fair, other people did it. Max did it. I think one of the Haas, maybe Hülkenberg, but excuse me, I believe one of the Haas did it as well. But then Sergio Perez did it a little more better. I mean, he really did it. He ended up getting really stuck in the gravel. To be fair, it may have been wetter at that point. He was on the soft, but that by itself is not much of an issue if that was just a one-time thing, but it's not for Sergio Perez. It's a many-time thing, and Christian Horner did not look particularly happy for the Mexican driver. Next up, though, disappointing really, because Alpine have been looking good, but Ocon, oh dear. Yeah, Ocon starting 18th. I don't think he's going to be particularly happy about where he's starting. And the bottom half of Mr. Magnussen is in 17th. Now, the rumours are that with Ollie Behrman signed for Haas, they are looking at Esteban Ocon. And the signing potentially could be imminent, which would mean Kevin Magnussen's out of a drive. Yeah. Also, could be out of a drive next year, Valtteri Bottas. He was looking quite good at one point, but then he got out qualified by his teammates, so he didn't quite make it into Q2, unlike Zhou, and sadly, he is lying 16th. So in 15th position, though, is Daniel Ricciardo. Now, once again, rumours about what's happening to Ricciardo, they seem to change every week. Yes, he got out qualified by a couple of places by his teammate. There was one rumour that he's going to replace Perez at Red Bull. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. Are they? I don't have no idea if they are true. But Ricciardo getting out qualified by Tsunoda, not that much. I mean, to be fair, I say that it was like 6-7 tenths of a second. I guess the saving grace is excuse rather than reason. The track was wet and maybe he just didn't get the best from the car, and that's something he said too. But I would like to give credit where credit's due. He's not had the best of times, but you out-qualified Bottas in what was quite a difficult qualifying session. So well done, Zhao. Not too bad there. Really, I think he did about as good as you could do. The same with Tsunoda. Out-qualifying your teammate is the absolute minimum tick you need. You qualified 13th. It really seems that RB is struggling, and the upgrades are not really very good. And, well, in 12th, eat your words, is not Albon, but his teammate, Logan Sargent. No, that's Lance Stroll. Well, to be fair, is there much of a difference? No. Here we go. Logan Sargent. 12th. I mean, come on. You've out-qualified Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Bottas, Magnussen. You've not done too bad. And, I've got to give you a clap there. Even James Vowser has come out and admitted that this guy might be gone by the end of the year. He may have heard that because qualifying 12th is no mean feat in what was, as I keep saying, a quite disappointing qualifying session. And you will be starting alongside this man. And this was a big surprise. Leclerc. And he's simply come out and saying, we are just slow on his Q2 exit. They really do have looked to slip backwards. He said, I don't think it quite helps. So we are trying... we are trying to just assess the situation we are in at the moment and try to understand which are the directions in which we need to push. And you almost have to think Adrian Newey can't come soon enough for Charles Leclerc. Really disappointing there. And out-qualified again by his teammate is average Alonso. But we know Stroll is fairly handy in with the wet and mixed conditions. It's one of his few good things. What's going to happen for the race, I've absolutely no idea. But I think one of the guys of qualifying, it really wasn't spoken about too much, is Alexander Albon. I mean, wow there. Hasn't done not really too well over the last few qualifying sessions, but then he sticks it in 9th, in between, he makes an Aston Martin sandwich, the filler in an Aston Martin sandwich. Well done, Alexander Albon. I think one of the men of qualifying, one of the underrated men of qualifying here. And I would like to say well done to Lance Stroll. Aston Martin have been not too great of late. I've completely... I'm busted. Lance Stroll. Once again, yes, if it wasn't for your dad, you wouldn't be here. I mean, that is facts. But qualifying 8th, I mean, that is not bad. You've out-qualified Alonso again, and you're in the top 10. You got into Q3. You didn't make a mistake, like Sergio Perez, like Max Verstappen made a mistake. And you're 8th. I don't think that's too bad. Bearing in mind how slow that Aston Martin has been of late. Yeah, not particularly good at all. So, there. Are you going to make me eat my words and get a podium? I doubt it, but I would eat my words, whatever that would mean. So next up, we got in 7th place. Once again, disappointed, but not disappointed as his teammate probably would be, is Carlos Sainz. Yeah. Once again, I think that's the absolute... that might be the maximum he could have done, but he's been out-qualified by the factory Ferrari, and he's been out-qualified by the works Ferrari. Yep, the same could be said. Not today, though, of the Mercedes and McLaren cars. So next up, then, after Sainz, we spoke about the non-factory Ferrari side, is the man that is going to Audi. They're going to be... not Audi, the car make. They are going to be quite excited because he's really justifying that purchase, isn't he? So well done, Hulkenberg, for qualifying 6th. Fantastic. Once again, this guy, I think a lot of people would really love to see this guy in a competitive car because I think he'll be do absolute gangbusters. So we've got in 5th, I think he'll be a bit disappointed. I think both McLaren drivers are going to be disappointed. But in 5th, we have Oscar Piastri. I think Zach Brown came out and he intimated that neither McLaren driver really got the most from their laps, the best out of their laps, which is slightly unfortunate. But Oscar Piastri in 5th. Next up, we have someone that I think you'd be quite surprised to be there, Sergio Perez's teammate, Max Verstappen, who nearly did a Sergio Perez into the gravel. He just avoided that. Maybe he's more skillful, I guess. But he did still go over the gravel. He just continued rather than beach himself. And then it damaged his floor. So the reason he's 4th is because of Max Verstappen. You can make an argument. It's because his mistake. Now people are going, oh, there's pressure. Yeah, there is pressure. Is the pressure getting to him? I don't think so. Yes, he made a mistake, but when I say the pressure getting to him is all the time, no. But as we've seen with Hamilton, Senna, Prost, Schumacher, Verstappen, they do make mistakes when the pressure's on. Absolutely, they're only human after all. So I think he'll be disappointed with fourth. But once they get their car right, definitely one of the fastest cars. And talking about fast cars, and someone we thought was going to get pole is Lando Norris, someone who did not get pole. Is Lando Norris. I think he was quite disappointed, but I think he's very confident for the race, and he's starting alongside his best friend. So what could possibly go wrong? So from Lando Norris, we have Lewis Hamilton, who nearly got pole, but then there was George Russell. I don't think he'll be disappointed. I think Hamilton normally has better race pace in the race than George. Of late, I think Austria, he was faring quite well until he damaged the car. So anything's possible. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton. But I mean, secondly, I think both Mercedes were ecstatic as this guy here ends up getting on that pole. Well done, George Russell. What a job. Best on the bunch. At one point, even by George's own admission, it wasn't looking too good. And he even said, I was a bit worried about going out, I think, in Q2. But he did the lap. He did it when it counted. Laps were, to be fair, improving all the time. But he was there on pole. It's going to be really exciting with a British 1-2. But before we go, I just want to share with you the weather, which everyone's talking about at the moment. Can we zoom in? Okay, so this is tomorrow, Sunday, the 7th of July. And we move forwards at 11 o'clock. There's a 60% chance of rain. It goes down to 30% at 2, then goes back up. This is from the metoffice.gov.uk, which are normally fairly accurate. So 11 o'clock, it goes up to 60, as you can see. And then it goes down to 30 by 2 o'clock, but then up to 60 by 3 o'clock, and then down again to 40 and 30 by 5 o'clock. So there is a more than half chance that the race will at least start in the wet. Maybe it just starts raining on the parade lap. That'll be unfortunate. But there we go. If you made it to the end, that is absolutely fantastic. Please give us a subscribe. That would be amazing. If you give us a subscribe and a like, in our eyes, you're going to be a multiple world champion. So we will speak to you soon. A British 1-2-3 today. History was made at Silverstone. See you later.